Like pixels on a screen, these are the games of our lives. Hello friends, welcome back to the Games of Our Lives. This is episode 15, and if the editor, myself, has played his cards right, you're hearing the sound of my voice over some royalty-free, smooth jazz. Okay, I can't keep that up.
No?
No, I can't. This is the Games of Our Lives. Mike is still on vacation in the wilds of Alaska, so joining me this week is my good friend Razz. Say hello, Razz.
Hello, Razz.
Oh, yes, exactly. Perfect. That's like 5 guests in a row.
I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert.
So what have you been playing lately?
I am playing a wide variety of games, but for like 20 minutes at a time. So I'm playing The Witcher 3, which, as far as I am concerned, has enough content to last me the next like 30 or 40 years. I'm playing Rocket League about 5 minutes at a time because that's a real quick game. I'm also playing the Diablo with my wife.
Diablo 3, correct.
Yeah. It's I was able to convince her by picking it up for the PS4.
Oh, yeah, so you're playing with the same screen co-op?
Yeah, it's not the same Diablo experience that I was expecting or that I kind of wanted, but it's still, hack and slash, grab loot, so, that's fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Diablo 3, especially since the changes they've made since its release.
Yeah, I've heard that you don't have to go to an auction house, and I have never seen an auction house, so...
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, all the things that I heard about that were terrible are apparently no longer a concern.
Yeah, no, the console version came out after they had patched all of that stuff out, so it never actually made it into that version of the game.
It's not bad. It's easy enough that my wife can pick it up, and she's not a gamer by any merit.
Okay, so like, so with the same screen co-op, is there like interruptions where one person needs to do inventory management or what? How does that stuff work?
If you're doing same screen co-op, then yeah, whoever opens up a menu blocks the other person out. But basically what we do is just, because you can flag items, I don't know if this is in the original game, but you can flag items as junk through the menu, and then whenever you get to a merchant, you can hit a button and you just sell all your junk all at once. So what you do whenever you lock yourself out is you go, okay, let's look at our inventory, and then one after another, you just go through, you flag all your crap as junk, you look at new skills if you have any. It's about 2 or 3 minutes just to do that basic management, and you do that at the end of like every cave or every level.
So how far have you been able to get into the game so far?
We just started Act 3.
Okay, you got some bits to go. Well, that game has some weird pacing issues because my memories of it are all the first act takes forever, and then the rest of the acts just sort of breeze by.
Well, it's weird. Every time I think that I am hitting like the middle of an act, I am actually about to face the last boss.
Yeah, there's definitely some weird pacing stuff.
Yeah. Just a side tangent, because this is a Blizzard game. I do want to say that Blizzard, if you're listening to this, you gotta leave me alone. You can't send me these emails. I don't want your 7 days of WoW.
Oh yeah,
I got out.
Oh, I'm still getting those too.
I got out. I was clean.
Yeah, you'll never be able to escape that until they shut everything down.
With the new expansion coming out, I doubt that's going to be anytime soon.
Yeah. So, Witcher 3, huh? How is that going in short bursts?
Well, the sad thing about The Witcher 3 is that a lot of the game is just entrenching yourself in that world, in the mythos, in the setting, and I can easily dump. I mean, I've sometimes set a goal of I'll play for 30 minutes, and then it's 4 a.m, and I'm like, oh god, I got to get up with the kids. So that does happen, but the good thing about it is that I can usually kick off, maybe not a main quest, but I can usually kick off one of those side quests or one of those monster hunting side quests in that 30-minute period, more or less. And because nothing is really you don't really need to know where you were and what you were doing. You can kind of just pick one of your quests that's level appropriate, go to it and do it, and it's great for pick up and play.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested in getting into Witcher once I knock a couple of other big games off of my plate, because the estimates on that game is if you do everything is probably about 200 hours. And then they just added New Game Plus.
Okay, so New Game Plus is going to be great, because just a heads up, I would not look up ahead of time any of the story queues. Some of the side quests don't do anything to your story. It's just a side quest. Some of the other side quests will have like ramifications like 20 or 30 hours later, and you will not see them coming until suddenly you're like, whoa, wait, I didn't know that was going to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that CD Projekt Red does very well, is integrate all of their side quest stuff into the main story and make it feel all important and really go deep into the lore.
Yeah, I have to tell you, the thing that gets me is the attention to emotive detail, like the. Okay, so I'm sure you've heard the popular online kind of breakdown of Witcher, in that Geralt is sort of a noir character, in that he's not really part of the story that's happening. He's kind of disengaged from the actual story that's going on, but he's kind of moving through these people's lives and trying to do his job without getting involved. And because of that's the kind of character that you lead, you end up having, like, every side quest is different. Everything that you think would be, oh, this is going to be a standard XYZ, it ends up having this deeper level to it, because they can tell all these different kinds of stories with that sort of protagonist.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. I've booted up Witcher 2 a couple times, and hasn't really gotten its hooks into me yet, but I haven't spent a lot of time with it. The lore in those games is ridiculous. It's based off of this long series of Polish language fantasy novels. So for my part, I finished up the Tomb Raider reboot earlier this week, and I don't know. It's a good game. I have some issues with the way that it ended. I don't want to necessarily get into spoiler territory, but the game is a lot like Uncharted, except Uncharted is sort of based in an enhanced version of reality where you can see the plausibility of things even though you know that they're not possible. Whereas Tomb Raider sort of takes a left turn towards the end into full-on magic bullshit, and it's sort of lost me there. But I am looking forward to playing the sequel, because this was a pretty good game despite some of its flaws. But what I wanted to talk about was the I played it a while ago, back before the hiatus, and I wanted to talk about it. Was the World of Warships beta? Have you ever played any of the World of Tanks, World of Warplanes games?
No, that is actually oddly enough, that is one of those games that I will sit down and I will watch people play it on Twitch and things like that. So I'm familiar with them. Not the World of the ships, but the World of Tanks. If I'm, doing dishes or something like that and I'm bored, I will load up some YouTuber or some Twitch channel and watch people play it.
Really? Because it seems like I don't know, Tanks is kind of a weird game. I don't know that it's necessarily a great spectator sport, because it seems like it's just a lot of sitting around waiting for shot opportunities.
Well, it's interesting enough to watch while I'm paying attention. It's only something I'll put on if I'm paying attention 90% to something else.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, Warships is the next game that they're making. Obviously, it's ocean combat in ships. There are different classes of ships. You've got your small, fast destroyers. You've got your medium-sized cruisers, and you've got your big gun battleships, and you've got aircraft carriers. The gameplay is pretty much the same for all the classes except for the aircraft carriers, which have an RTS style gameplay. Obviously, the battleships are better at long distance, and the destroyers are good for getting up close, and they're much faster than all the other ships. And the cruisers have the most guns. Like I have a cruiser that has 17 cannons on it.
Jeez, overkill, man.
Well, it's designed to blow shit up, basically.
So it does what it needs to do.
The way the combat works, at least the way the game works, or at least in the beta parts that I played, there are a couple different gameplay types. It's basically an ocean with some islands in it, and you're going around taking out other people or controlling capture points, etc. It's, you know, it's all one life, like the other games. You know, you get killed, you're out, and you can't use that ship until that fight is over, which could take another 3 minutes or another 15 minutes, depending on when you got knocked out. So the general gameplay is fairly similar to tanks, especially. There's a lot more motion involved because you're a ship. It's hard to stop, so you're always moving, and you're sighting and leading the other ships. You're trying to find a position where you can shoot from without necessarily getting hit back, trying to catch people off guard. It's pretty good. It will have the same sort of free to play hooks that the other two games have, and I realized that for the beta they definitely been spiking the earning curve, trying to get people to the higher tiers as fast as possible. So while it was fun, I realized, you know, when this game actually comes out, I'm not actually going to be earning stuff this quickly. So that kind of soured it a little bit for me.
Yeah, setting that kind of incorrect expectation. Yeah.
I mean, it's exciting and fun. It's good because there were a lot of people playing it, so you could get into matches quickly. I decided to go back and play Warplanes again, since I had not played that in a long time, and I sort of prefer the plane stuff anyway. And it's basically a desert wasteland now, and which is really sad because I kind of like that game. So it's really hard to find matches. Maybe once Warships goes out of beta or is released, you know, people will trickle back. But it's kind of sad because I think that's a game that I have more fun with. So Razzle Dazzle, what do you got on the horizon? What are you looking forward to playing? I mean, with whatever time you can make for it.
Well, that's actually something that I have to take into consideration, and that's something that I think that you'll find from a lot of parents is, like, I want to keep gaming. I want to keep, you know, pushing that muscle, pushing my imagination in the gaming realm and everything like that. But what I have to do is I have to pick games where I'm like, I can spend the 20 minutes where my children are napping or whatever on this game and then not be sad about it, which is why I'm playing a lot of Rocket League, because I can play, you know, a match in 5 minutes. So I'm playing games like The Witcher as opposed to Bloodborne, because I was like, The Witcher has like quests that I can kick out real easy. Bloodborne seems like a game where you want to get immersed in it for a while.
Definitely. Those Souls style games, and that's another thing, is like there's no pausing. You can't pause in those games. So if you're in a bad spot and you got to do something, you're gonna die.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of glad and kind of upset that the PS4 doesn't seem to track your playtime, because I'm sure that any game that I can pause in has a playtime of, like, you know, a couple thousand hours.
Yeah,
because it is so much of pause, put it down for 4 hours, go do something else, then come back to it.
Have you worked out the suspend resume functionality?
Oh yeah, it's excellent. Like, I can, like, right now, Diablo is actually suspended in the living room with Netflix open, but Netflix is closed because nobody's watching it. So, like, that is actually perfect because it works exactly the way we need it to with Netflix. I can just suspend Diablo. Like, my wife and I played 3 or 4 days ago, and we suspended it, opened up Netflix, and then we've just been really busy since then. And last night, we popped it open again. Our characters were right where we were, in the middle of a cave. I mean, it's wonderful.
Yeah, that seems like a really useful feature.
Yeah, I don't know how useful it is to other adults, but to parents, it's fantastic.
I bet.
But looking forward to looking at what I can do and what my time limitations are. One of the games that I'm looking forward to is N++. It's a sequel to N+, which is basically just it's a pretty simple, or at least simply styled, platforming game where you're a ninja and you have to avoid obstacles and weapons and things like this and accomplish objectives on a map. And it's a very simple game, but playing through it is very fast-paced. It's kind of, I would sort of liken it to Super Meat Boy in that it's level-based, it's fast-paced, you can get in and get out pretty quick.
Definitely. It's basically like an adopted version of a Flash game, a lot like Super Meat Boy was. I played N+ on the PC a long time ago, so it's good to see that those guys are still doing it. It's probably pretty much the same game, I imagine.
Well, yeah, I saw, I think it was on IGN or Polygon, but they had a link up of a N++ level that played itself, and that's the first time that I had seen N++ in action, and it looks like it's pretty much the same game. A lot of the power-ups, a lot of the obstacles, if you want to call them that, look different. There are boosts now, which I hadn't seen boosts before. There are all these different things in there, but it is pretty much the same game, just more. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I played the original N+ with 3 or 4 of my friends, and I think it was on the original Xbox 360. God, probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago. But that could be completely wrong on the timeline. Don't. But that game was really fun because it had the 4-player co-op, and I'm sure if I can get my wife involved in it, then I can go through the co-op levels if nothing else.
Yeah, and that's pretty good, like level-based pick up and play stuff, definitely. Let's see. For me, I finished up Tomb Raider, so I'm looking to get another couple of games off of my queue, and sort of knock stuff off my backlog. But last week we mentioned Galaxy coming out this month. I'm real interested in that. And in September, Tony Hawk 5 is going to come out, which I haven't heard a lot about since the announcement. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's sort of sneaking up on me. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing that again, or for the first time.
I mean, was that even an announcement, that accidental photo?
Yeah, they sort of swept it under the rug and then waited till E3 to sort of give the official. We knew it was coming. It was just we didn't know what it was going to be called. So they're like, well, I guess we'll call it that, since that's sort of what everybody thinks it's going to be called. But I haven't seen any footage of it. I didn't, I had completely forgotten that it was coming out this year. So it's sort of sneaking up on me.
Well, if they're able to pull a return to form, I think that's going to be great. Tony Hawk 1 through, I would say 3 were pretty great. 4 and what was the dumb name they had for that one?
Well, let's see. After the Pro Skater series, it was Underground 2, American Wasteland, Project 8, Skate.
Yeah. Those were all terrible.
Yeah, they weren't great. I've spent a lot of time with Tony Hawk's 1 through 4. Probably the most time with 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. I really liked. I really liked making characters and then just stringing together those combos was the most. It was just this glorious, mind-numbing experience where you just kind of stepped out of yourself and your hands did all the work and you were just staring at the screen.
Yeah, it's like playing an instrument.
Yeah, you don't even pay attention. They just do all that, and you're just, you're at a 200 score multiplier. It just happens.
Yeah, I really love those mechanics, so I hope that they can bring those back for the new one. Even if it's not like a super graphical powerhouse, I just want a new game with those mechanics back in it.
Yeah, I'm not even. For a game like that, I don't care if it looks beautiful. If it can give me that sense again, then I am all for that.
So on the news front, not a lot going on. Windows 10 is out this week, and there's some stuff there that is relatively gaming related. They have the Minecraft beta going on. If you own Minecraft for the Java version, you can get the Windows 10 beta. You can get that for free.
Yeah, I'm interested in looking at that, but that's actually something that I had a conversation with somebody that is not a follower of mine and not somebody that I follow on Twitter. So I wonder if they were just trolling for keywords. But that's something that I had a conversation with online on Twitter earlier, was regarding the Minecraft beta, and the primary concern is that they are not going to see a lot of the numbers switch over to this beta until it's kind of ratified, because none of the mods are going to work for it.
Right. At least not now.
Yeah, the Java version is just so open to mods, and that was the concern before 10 came out, was that everybody was worried if this was Microsoft pushing for, an exclusive for their platform at the expense of the modding community.
I don't know. Minecraft is such a big thing that I think it's corporate suicide to sort of shut down the old version.
Yeah, I mean, that's never been Mojang's MO anyway, because, I know that they don't own it, but Mojang always had they have always allowed you to roll back to the first versions of Minecraft. So I don't see that ever leaving. It's just something that apparently the community at large is at least somewhat worried about, enough that strangers are replying to tweets that I had, a month ago.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see the concern, because 10 is this new architecture. There's a lot of weird stuff in it going on. It'll take some time for the adoption to go around. I could definitely see the concerns there.
Yeah, I got to get that DAT DirectX 12.
Yeah. There's a couple of other things related to 10, like something if you really pay attention to like games releases and marketing stuff for games, something that you'll see is that a lot of games that are coming to PC are being marketed as coming to Windows 10 instead of coming to PC/Steam.
Now, on that, do you think that's because they did that as well with Windows 7, where they were like coming to Windows 7? Do you think that's more a marketing ploy kind of pushed by Microsoft, or do you think that's a, hey bitches, this runs on DirectX 12, you cannot get DirectX 12 unless you're on 10?
I don't know. I don't think there aren't a lot of games that are going to be using DirectX 12 for a while. Personally, I don't think that'll be common for a long time. But
yeah, I'm just wondering if that's them trying to push people towards that, because they're already trying to push people towards Windows 10 by making it a free upgrade if you've got a legit version of 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. I think it's more so that. And this is sort of theorizing, but Steam basically owns the PC market. I mean, that's obvious. And Steam is trying their damnedest to actually get away from Windows. So a lot of this stuff could be the start of Microsoft creating their own sort of Steam-like platform where they sell games directly through their Windows store and they work on Windows 10.
Well, that would definitely be I think that Microsoft would want to do that, because I think one of the things that they found with the Xbox over the last 10, 15 years is that the push for an online marketplace was more profitable than them actually developing content. Like that seems to be the big market nowadays. Like Facebook does this, YouTube does this. They don't actually create the content. They just house the marketplace so that you can post your content there, with the indie stores, with things like that. And I think that Microsoft is like, this is a way for us to eliminate a lot of the actual risk involved in creating content or selling content, because we don't have to put in any of the resources to sell it. But instead, we can just go, hey, here's where you buy it. This is the official place to buy for this platform. And I think that they're trying to bring a lot of that functionality from the Xbox that they've had all the success with over to the PC and go, let's be like Apple. Let's have an official app store, etc., just on the PC instead of on a phone.
Right. And that I can see working, except that having used Windows 8.1 on my laptop at least. The Windows App Store is a shithole garbage mess.
Okay, so on that, I am a diehard defender of Windows 8. Now, admittedly, I use a touchscreen device, so it is entirely, directed at me. But even on my desktop, where it's not a touchscreen, I like that. I like the way that it works. I don't have a lot of problems with some of the things that other people say are shortcomings. I don't really see as a shortcoming. It doesn't affect me in the way that I operate, and it is totally something that may just be, a case for your mileage may vary. But that fucking store is the worst.
It is a nightmare that it's not curated.
You can't search anything. It's all in top 10 lists. It's like, okay, if you took the top 10 list part of the Apple store, and then we're like, okay, we've got millions of apps. Let's just show them this screen.
If they want to have people going through their store to buy games, they have to fix that shit.
Yeah, really. I mean, even, I'm not a big fan of the big picture from Steam. I think that there are some UI elements that aren't really done well. It tries to be way more flashy than actually useful. But even that works better than the Microsoft Store. You can actually find what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's rough stuff. So, yeah, but I mean, all of this is moot because Microsoft has said that they care about PC gaming for the last 10 years and not really done anything. So, other than shut down games for Windows Live, which I guess that shows that they do care because that was garbage anyway. Well, I think we just about covered everything. Razz, where can our friends find you on the Intertrons?
Well, on Twitter, I am at Razztag, Razztag. I tweet about anything that's happening, and since I have 2 little kids, it's usually inane nonsense related to parenting. They can also follow me on Twitch, but I Twitch so infrequently that they should probably just follow me on the Twitter.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Razz. It's been a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at FracTruck or at FracTruck_games to get updates for the show. If you like the show, go ahead and spread it around. That's the only way we can get more listeners. I'm hoping to get up some new content on the channel soon, but until then, we will see you next time.
Bye-bye. So, I don't know your usual recording MO. Do you want to record? Do I need to record my end?
No, I get both of them.
Oh, getting it from both sides.
Spit roast in that recording.
Gross.
Yeah, pretty gross.